So I got my, what is this? An HGL RC Zeus 28 amp. It's a 3 to 6S. It's a 4-in-1 BO Heli S ESC. They gave us some nice packaging and stuff. Some stickers. I like stickers. I'm gonna put those on my headset. I know there was more than that. I think they gave us some here. If I can open it. There we go. Hey, some little stickers. Put those on my headset. They gave us the ESC. This is nice. It's a 20 by 20, I think they called it. It's a little stack. So what I need is a small stack for this. Hopefully the orientation fits. And they actually gave us a capacitor, which the one I was buying for 36 or even 20 when they gave me a deal, they didn't give me a battery wire or capacitor. They gave me jellies, or at least HGLC gave me jellies. I can say the one on eBay did give me mounts, but I had some left over, so good thing I saved those. But yeah, I'm gonna wire this guy in there and hopefully everything works right. Have to read the pin out to make sure that the harness matches up to the flight controller properly. There we go. So yeah, that's their flight controller if we use our flight controller, but we're just using the ESC. It's a 28 amp. It says what this one originally used was a BO Heli, a 28 amp ESC, but it went to shit, and I tried finding an exact replica, and each one I bought was either a knockoff, so I had the same pinout, but the pinout was no connection. So anyways, that's originally what was in there, and we're gonna go for this guy. Hopefully he fits. Notices that the holes on the HGLRC Zeus 28 amp 4-in-1 BL Heli ESC blah blah blah, the holes are bigger than the original. They do give you these jellies, but when I put the jellies in and put them on the original standoffs that I have on the drone's frame, they're not long enough. Like they they don't come through, and this is kind of how their original ESC was. You'd put it on there, stack it on the pin, and then just screw these standoffs on and put the ESC on top. So yeah, this is kind of how I'm gonna do it, and I want it board side up. I want to be able to see the name of the ESC, well, at least me, and I want to be able to see the soldered contacts. This is one of the boards. They said it has reverse side contacts, and they were bigger pads for easier soldering. I thought it was kind of nice. Yeah, I mean, they are pretty big contact pads. This is the way I want to do it. I also can see what pinout is what with the board facing this way. It tells me right here. If it was facing down, I wouldn't be able to see the pinout. Yep, this is so far what I got. I'm just going slow, taking my time. Hopefully my motor wires are all on the same, because I don't want to have to unsolder them. I had to do that one time, and then I found out the ESC was bad. So hopefully this one's good. It did have a quality control sticker, and I took it off and put it somewhere. Right there. It passed. So hopefully this thing works. That other ESC that I got from eBay that looked like this did not have no quality control sticker, because it probably didn't pass. I noticed the capacitor they gave us, it comes with these really long lead ends, and I was like, oh, that's nice, because, you know, and I don't have to use, you know, the original. That's the original capacitor to the ESC that originally went on there. Says it's a HYNC something. I can't. A high capacity? No, I can't even tell what that says. 105 Celsius. I can't tell what it is, but it's an ROHS. I can see that. Yeah, those are the leads. I'll probably end up using these for my bow over there. It's got some weird other kind of not XT60. So I want to switch it over there. Yeah, that one, the white one. Anyways, but that's how I got it on there like this. I already sat everything and stacked it, made sure my stack would fit. I got the soldering gun getting hot, but I noticed the cap had these holes, or the long wires, and I noticed the ESC had these nice little holes to slide the cap in, like that. I don't know if I should slide them down and up, or solder it like that. Obviously I'm going to take the ESC off when I do this, because I want to be able to make a good solder for my battery wires and make sure this is on there. I'm probably going to solder this first, you know, get it a good where I want it, and then I'll solder the wire over. Get back to you. Got my cap to the right ones, red to, you know, plus sign, negative to the negative sign. I did give them a little flip and a little, you know, clip. That's how I'm going to have it. I'm going to make sure that it sticks in there like this. I don't want it through the hole. I actually think I may have lost the original cap, because this drone never had a cap, so that may have why my drone just popped the ESC and dropped out of the air, because it didn't have a cap. But we're not going to have it going down to that hole. We're just going to have it sit up here like this. I'd rather have it there than below the battery, where the battery can hit it and pull it off. Yes, it's somewhat on there. I'm going to put a little bit of solder and make sure I get it. I'm going to do it from probably from the bottom, because there's not much contacts on the bottom, or, you know, pads showing on the bottom. So I'm going to solder the cap on from the bottom just a little bit, and then when I put my battery wire on the top, that'll furthermore get good contact. And I had to clip my tip. My tip wasn't like pointed on my soldering gun, so like when I was soldering it, it was just, yeah, taking too long for me to hold her. If I was, it was just melting the solder, not sticking to it. So I cleaned my tip up, made sure it was getting good contact in my soldering gun, and made sure I had a point. And I just heated up the solder that was on there, and I literally count like 3 Mississippi, like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. You can see the solder liquefy, and the pad, it warms up enough for the solder to actually like sit. And I was always told, if your solder looks shiny like that and not dull, that you got a good contact. I've seen it before, if you play with solder or solder something and it looks like gray and foggy, usually you didn't heat it up enough, I was told. But yeah, that's the cap soldered on there, and I'm happy with that. So we're gonna have it on our flight controller like this, so we can see the pads, and so I can solder my motors on easy if I ever have to take them off. But now we're gonna solder the battery wire right there onto there. This is the way I like to do it. I like to take my solder and just feed it onto the board with my nail gun, like right at the point, not on the solder gun, but like on the board. So my nail gun would be here, not my nail gun, my solder gun would be here, and I'll feed in right onto the pad, right up next to the gun, and it'll be hot enough on the pad to melt the solder, not the gun. And then once I get enough, like a little bit like to look like this, I'm happy with that, because then when I bring my wire, I'll have a little bit on my wire, soldered on my wire, and I'll hold the two together, and they'll conjoin each other. So I'll show you that in a second. I just put solder on these, so I'm going to try to do the positive right here. I don't know if you can see, or if I can do this with 2 hands. So it's going to be tricky, because I need to put my hand there. We'll just have to flip this down. So just gonna set it on there like that. I'd like to get my solder in there, but I'm just gonna tack this really horribly, kind of where I need it. Come on, Billy. I'm just holding the two together, and the solder on the two will heat up. And now I remove it. Now it's at least held on there, and I can do what I need to do. Redo this. So this is how I'm going to do this. There's solder on the end of this, there's solder on there. I'm just going to heat up this, and it's going to melt itself onto there. I can add more solder if I don't like it after I'm done. Watch. Just set it on there and heat up the wire. The solder of the two will heat up and then they'll melt. Boom, they're done. I'm going to flatten that out again. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Boom, melted. And then we got to hold. Boom. Positive wires on there. And then I can clean it up later and add more solder, which I want to. I'll try to do the negative with you guys right here. Hopefully it's not too close. Okay, so I'm going to come in right here with my solder. Put my gun on the pad, trying to stay away from those capacitors or whatever those are. And I'm putting it on the pad and I'm feeding it onto the pad. The pad is hot, the solder is flowing onto the pad, and now I'm done. I don't want to keep it on there too long because you can burn the board, I was always told. But see how it looks shiny and it fully melted around the pad. The pad was hot enough so it'll stick. It will only stick to the gold parts, the pads. It will not stick to the red unless you scratched it or heated it up way too much. So now that we have solder flowed all across the negative, we have solder on my wire already because I tinted it, I think they call that. Whatever. I'm going to hold it here like this where I want it. Like that. Something like that. Yes, like that. I'm going to put it right on top of the battery wire, and the solder's melting, flowing. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and we're done. And battery wires are on there, and we are nowhere, no solder near those. Nice. I swear they put a coating on there. Alright, I'm gonna feed more solder onto these. Don't feed too much, but I only put solder on the wire and then on the board. Now I kind of want to fill it in. And I'm putting my soldering gun on the wire, heating up the whole thing, and I'm feeding into it, so it's not just one thing hot. Oh yeah, we had good penetration. Solder flowed through. Here we go again. Heating it up. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Feeding solder in. Done. Oh fuck! It bumped it. Here we go. I'm gonna heat up the positive. It's a lump. 1, 2, 3. See, it penetrated through the bottom and filled in a lot. Why not skim some of that off? So yeah, there's my battery wire right now. We're soldered up. It's shiny. I'm gonna get that. I got some frilly ends that are sticking out, so I'm trying to use the gun to push them back. There we go. Wha-bam. I'm anal. Sorry. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. There we go. It flowed. Boop. Harness they gave us with this GLC. What's this called? A Helk, whatever. It's a Zeus. The Zeus 28 amp 4 in 1 AC. The Zeus board. That harness came with a little too many more wires. All I need is a power wire, a ground, and then the signal wire for each motor. They came with more than I need. Came with 7 wires. Came with a no connection, which goes to the board, and it says RG, which I don't know what that means. Real ground, I don't know. And then it came with that yellow wire, which is a current wire, which goes to that ESC. That flight controller only needs a VCC, which is battery, I'm pretty sure, and ground, because that's how it went before, battery and ground. Yeah. So I'm just going to take the VCC and put it to the battery, and then ground to ground, and then the 1, 2, 3, 4, and just leave the yellow wires out of it, because I don't need the yellow or the green wire. This is the harness that went to this, so I'm going to splice these two together so I can just clip them in. Yep. Gave me a XT30, I think. XT30, XT30, whatever this is. And well, if it doesn't fit any of my batteries, I use XT60 connectors, so I just used the original connector that I already had swapped this to. But it's kind of set up. I don't have my motors on there yet. I just wanted to make sure the flight controller actually booted up, because that was the problem I was having with those eBay knockoff BL Heli ESCs that look like this one. This is the original, but this one still powered up the EC. It just didn't move the motors because it was, I don't know, something's wrong with it. But yeah, this is the BL Heli 28 amp Zeus ESC. Waka. We're using battery to VCC on the furibee flight controller, which is a geyser something. Anyways, VCC right there. We have battery from the red one, and obviously ground goes to black. And we went 1, 2, 3, and the motor out. The wires are all like willy wacky. I soldered them together and used a little bit of solder, and then taped them up. But yeah, let's plug it in and just see if we get camera picture and some beepage, because it will get power from the ESC to the flight controller. There's the camera. That's going to let us know that everything's plugged up right. I'm going to sit you right there and hopefully see the camera. I'll let you see the drone. Huh? No, huh? Ha! Yeah! Camera. Yes, I can't wait to fly this thing. It's been like over a year and a half. Crappy video. So what I do with the ESC, I heat the pad up like I was saying. You put your tool on the pad, and then you put your solder on the pad, and the solder will melt on the pad because of the heat. I'll kind of show that with my mouth. Hold on. You get the point. You kind of put the soldering gun on the pad and put the solder next to it, and it will melt. Like, you can feed it onto the soldering gun right at the point where they meet, but let it melt. Let the soldering gun do its job, and it will stick, and it'll be all shiny. Take these props off before I even test motor direction, because I ain't gonna cut myself again. But we got them all soldered up. Kind of just went by the way they were on the motor. Last time I had to switch them, so I'm hoping these aren't crisscrossed. Yeah. So now we're all plugged in. Hopefully the motor directions are the right way. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to swap the damn wires. Usually you just have to swap one wire. So yeah. Hopefully these are spinning the right way. I gotta go take my kid to karate class. This has been an ongoing long process. So yeah, I have these plastic standoffs. I don't have any more of them. And I have these little screws, and they're all rubber or plastic. And I lost two, and this is the video transmitter, so I don't care, but I'm using 2 of the standoffs to hold the flight controller in place and 2 of the screws to hold it in place. So it's screws and standoffs, but the flight controller is tight with the standoffs and screws. I just don't have 2 for the video thing, but that I don't care about. As long as the flight controller is stable, this is not going to go anywhere. Hopefully my motor wire is in the right direction, otherwise it was just switch one wire supposedly and the motors will switch. So yeah, get it all buttoned up. I had my my receiver on the wrong iBus. I had my I plugged in the wrong one, and when I plugged it on my computer, Betaflight was freaking out, just telling me that it wouldn't connect and yada yada yada. It was because I had my receiver plug for the iBus and the wrong, plug on my FlySky receiver. Anyways, it flies. I only had to change 2 motors because they all were spinning the same way, so I only had to change 2, top right, back left. Now watch. Oh, I didn't have to do anything to that. I didn't have to tune it or nothing. That's a totally different ESC. That ESC is a 28 amp, just like the original was a 28 amp, but this is the Zeus 28 amp BLHeli ESC instead of wherever the original one went to instead of this guy. So I could not find the original good one anymore, so we got that guy. Woohoo! Thanks, Get FPV. Your ESC worked. I only had to spend, 45, 46 something instead of the 30 to 20 for the one on eBay from, USA Quadcopters, which is shit. But Get FPV, hey, you guys are fucking dope. I'm gonna buy some more shit from you. Never fails. I always forget something. I wanted to fly my little furibee drone out here because it's open and it's nice, and I forgot the fucking batteries for it. I had 3 batteries for it and I left them, so I'm gonna have to fly it later. Right now we're flying the Ares 250B, kind of like, I have 3, but one's a parts drone now. Yeah, we're just gonna get some FPV going on here. Snoop's enjoying the sunshine, and Hayden was avoiding it. So we're gonna hurry up and get some flying on, and then we can go drive some GoPeds later. It's my first time flying in a while too, so hopefully everything works right. I really want to try my failsafe, but the field's closed. So we're flying at the fishing spot, I guess. What the fuck is going on here with this? Sorry, it takes so much to do this. It takes so much getting everything in the car. Because I have more than one drone and more than one battery. I tried to put it on the suitcase, but I forgot the little batteries. I really wanted to fly the furibee. Would have been its first flight in a long time. So we're going to fly this one. I still got to tape on my antenna. Alright, this is take 2. Alright, so this is one of my favorite drones. It's a Emax 6S. They call it the Emax Hawk. It's not the baby hawk, it is a big boy hawk. This fucker will bite you. I'm scared just fucking plugging it in there. And I still love my Fly Sky controller. I modded it with I forget what the version was, but you can look on GitHub and look up Fly Sky patches, mods, whatever you want to call it. So I got RSSI and a whole bunch of other channels, and they didn't have instructions, but I figured out which way the arrows need to be so your sensors beep and whatnot. I could show you how to do it too. And I also have a 5-volt BEC in my Fly Sky so that I can use like a 2-cell LiPo all the way up to a 6-cell LiPo, and the little 5-volt BEC knocks it down. It's actually like a 6-point something BEC. I got it for a flight controller with the flight controller, and I just use it on my controller because I know my controller needed about 7 to 6 volts. So yeah, that's how we use a BEC to step it down. Wait, going Fast as fuck, that's what it's called. That's what I called this one, fast as fuck. Okay, let's get the camera recording on there. Get this, and that lens is clean. Here we go. There's that. Hopefully that stays down. We're just gonna launch off the table. What? No GPS? I hate when this happens. I think it's like a surge when I plug this in for the first time in a long time. Let's try it again. Let's try this again. Yes! It's like a surge. When first time I plugged that 6-volt in into this drone, it freaks out. This drone, for the GPS, for the GPS, I used a 5-volt Beck on this drone. I bought an individual little 5-volt Beck, kind of like the one that's on my controller. Different person, but same principle. And I took the 5-volt Beck, taped it to one of the arms, and then I soldered onto the battery lead, and I used a 5-volt Beck to power up the GPS that I have on one of the other arms. I didn't want to use any power source from this drone because it had a really small board and not very many UARTs. So I just did what I had to get a GPS on there. And the beta flight, the GPS return to home does work. It's going to take us a minute to get some GPS signals. We got 4.21 volts, so this 6-cell is really holding the charge. Can't wait to use that other one. This 6-cell battery is 1,200 milliamp, and it's 120 C. The other one I have over here is 1,300 milliamp, and it's 100 C. So it's got a little more milliamp, but less punch. So hopefully this little battery goes more. With the GoPro and you, the weight difference should be alright. With that big battery and the GoPro, it's not that great. I've tried it. With the GoPro on there, it is still sketch. So we're only going to give it probably like 2 good passes with the GoPro. Got 5 satellites and we're waiting for a few more. Seven satellites. Oh, shit. So this whole time, this drone's been sitting here with this video transmitter, just pumping out a signal. And I didn't have my antenna on it because the quality was so good. Shit. I'm screwing one on right now. Look at this. Alright. There we go. We got our signal. We're going to count it. Here we go. Liftoff in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have me doubts, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud. If you're raining out, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. live, cause I just wanna hear it out your mouth, yeah. Give me fuel, it's a tool that I use to go ahead and run my fucking mouth, yeah. I take shots, I take loss, I make shots, I miss locks. That's how you get big boss, you get yachts, you swing lots and pop off a big shot. I ain't done chasing, got big dreams, bigger things, impatient. Who's at the top think they need replacement? Who's at the top think I'm gonna erase it? Face it, I don't give up quick, I don't give up shit, I won't give up this. Cause I know that I want it, know that I'm on it, I'll make it, I promise.
Yeah, that's the final product. That's how I had it like a year and a half ago. I cleaned up my battery wires without my camera going because, you know, I'm anal like that. And yeah, I only had to switch 2 wires, you know, the far left, far right. Otherwise, they're always spinning in the same direction. Yeah, I like my antennas up here. This one gets great reception because the receiver is almost bigger than the drone and the battery. Love it, and I love the GPS right there. I do have longer wires. Those wires that I'm using here for the UART or the USB, whatever you want to call the wires and the purpose. I use that on my glider, and I left the wires long because I might reuse them again on something else. Yeah, works good. I have those hot glued down, and then next to I use sticky tape. But yeah, I love it.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the fucking hours it takes to get some power. Don't be fucking sour, take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder. And fuck all the doubters, they're just fucking downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm pissed off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all wanna ring, yeah, we all wanna be free. So show me what you got, what you bring, how you fight in the ring, how you take a fucking swing. Do you got heart, are you mean? Got some scars, got some needs, are you willing to go bleed? I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm pissed off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down.